with tomorrow's news today. This is Headlines with a Voice.
Yeah. The car. All right.
Well, hello and welcome to the Lockhart Radio Podcast. I am your host, Felicia Lockhart, and I'm very happy to be with you today. Today, we're going to look at a couple of topics that have really burned my goat, as it were. The first one that we're looking at is the revocation of a specific executive order. One that gave us the opportunity to compete here in the United States has been revoked as of, I think, about in August of this year. And another thing that I wanted to talk about today was the SNAP funding ruling. And as you guys all know here, I'm not necessarily going to play sides. I'm going to share with you what I think on this podcast, as I always do. And the most important piece I want you to understand is it's up to you to choose whatever you want to believe. That is important. If you don't, then there is an even bigger problem, because then I'm telling you what to believe, and that's not cool. So the first thing that I want to get into is we are going to read some of the portions of each one of these, and then we're going to look at a couple of videos that will sort of bring us into exactly what we're about. Okay. So now, as we look at one of the revocations, so let's look at this. The presidential actions, this comes directly from the whitehouse.gov. It's the revocation of the executive order on competition. August 13th, 2025. This is what it says. By the authority vested in me as president by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America, it is hereby ordered. Section 1, revocation, Executive Order 14036 of July 9th, 2021, promoting competition in the American economy, is hereby revoked. Section 2, general provisions. Nothing in this order shall be construed to impair or otherwise affect the authority granted by law to an executive department or agency or the head thereof, or number 2, the functions of the director of the Office of Management and Budget relating to budgetary, administrative, or legislative proposals. B, this order shall be implemented consistent with applicable law and subject to the availability of appropriations. This order, under C, this order shall is not intended to and does not create any right or benefit, substantive or procedural, enforceable at law, or in equity by any part against the United States, its departments, agencies, or entities, its officers, employees, or agents, or any other person. And D, this is the final piece, the cost for publication of this order shall be borne by the Department of Justice. So long ago, and this is really where I'm going to take us, because if you guys remember that a long time ago, we were able to have so much great competition here in the United States. It really let us know that this was a place that you could come in and you could start your own company and have a portion of the American dream. So let's just take a moment and talk about something that we've all been feeling, but maybe we didn't have the language for it. We keep hearing about the cost of living and how it's rising. Groceries are going up. Healthcare costs are ridiculous. Your cell phone bill creeps up higher and higher every year. And yet nobody in power seems to be doing anything to stop it. And it leaves us wondering, how did we get here? Because it didn't just happen overnight, right? And it didn't happen because the economy is just hard right now. No, it has roots. For more than 100 years, this country actually had laws on the books to prevent monopolies. The Sherman Antitrust Act of 1890, the Clayton Act of 1914, the Federal Trade Commission Act. These laws said no one company should be able to control an entire industry. That way, competition stays alive, prices stay fair, and the average person has more than one choice. And for a while, that did work. It kept companies honest. It kept the markets open, and it kept power balanced. But something shifted in the 1980s. The government adopted a new way of thinking. A legal philosophy said that a monopoly is only a problem if prices go up right away. And that one change quietly awakened or weakened the enforcement of our antitrust laws. Companies learned that if they bought out their competition slowly, if they spread their ownership through investment firms, and if they raised prices gradually over time, no one would stop them. So we watched industry after industry consolidate: airlines, food companies, hospital networks, telecommunication companies, and yes, even beauty. Just like when Estee Lauder bought up Stila, Philosophy, Smashbox, they bought Tom Ford, on and on, or et al. Now, they did not buy these companies to build them up, but to neutralize the competition. The same model scaled all the way to the top of the economy. And now, today, here we are. When you look behind the curtain, you find the same three names over and over again. And here's my point: those names are BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. These companies they don't just go in and decide that they want to invest in the market. They own large controlling shares of the companies that are supposed to be competing with each other. United Airlines and Delta, they got the same shareholders. Comcast and AT&T, same shareholders. Tyson Foods and Kraft Heinz, same shareholders. So it looks like competition is often the same owners wearing different uniforms, and that's why prices rise together. That's why airlines magically all raise baggage fees at the same time. That's why grocery prices all jump, and no one explains why. The game is being played above us, not around us. Now, back in 2021, and this is the time frame that I'm really wanting to hone in on. Back in 2021, there was a brief attempt to reverse this. There was an executive order that tried to restore competition and strengthen the antitrust enforcement. What this law said was, or this executive order said was, no companies can just buy whoever they want. No, they can't. They can't go in there and use these non-compete clauses to trap their workers. So in other words, if you got a great idea and you worked with this company for 5 years and then you left, they had you sign these non-competes that say, okay, we're not going to go try and use those personal ideas that came out of your head that you helped this other company make millions with. You're not going to be able to run with that and do it for yourself. No, they can't quietly eliminate choice and inflate prices through these mergers. And for one good moment, there was some pushback against the corporate consolidations. But that order has now been revoked by what we read at the top of the podcast, which means that we are back in the era of corporations are free to expand, merge, and absorb and eliminate their competitors without the referee on the field. And when the ref steps off the field, the game doesn't get any fairer. As a matter of fact, it gets far dirtier. So the question is not whether this will affect the prices. The question is really, how fast is it going to be and how will we feel it? And which industries are going to be the first to go? Now, remember, I just named 3 companies, and here's how that company's tactic work. Those companies' tactic work. So they'll take one company, and each one of the Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street, each one will purchase a specific portion. See how that works? They each take that specific portion, and you think that it's not just one that owns it, but they're all the same company, and they all make their decisions together for said company that they have just now purchased. You following me? So when we talk about inflation or the cost of living or why families feel like they're working harder but getting less, understand that we are not just dealing with economics. We're actually dealing with policies. We're dealing with power. We're dealing with the quiet transfer of control from the public to private hands, one whole merger at a time. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once it's done, you cannot undo it. Listen to this. We're going to look at some of the basic principles of the antitrust laws, which I really don't even think we need to, but I think you guys pretty much get it. And so what I want to do is more than likely let's just move on to the next topic, because I think you guys get it. I think you all understand exactly what we're talking about, and how it happened. And why do I think it happened? I'll give you my opinion. I think that it happened because it was a way for somebody to allow others, whether they're in office or not in office, to allow others to do what they want. There are some very big players. The players that I just mentioned are huge players. And it's easier for them to buy their way in and do what they want once they've nestled themselves into one portion of government than not. So that's my take on it. Now let's deal with the elephant in the room. I'm going to go ahead and shut that portion down, but I do want to deal with the elephant in the room. The funny thing is that if these two judges were able to do their thing, they could have done it from Jump Street, which means that it was always an availability. We didn't need people to run out here and, try to cuss each person out or each side out because somebody was getting food stamps and the other one wasn't getting it. As a matter of fact, the way I said it just recently here with Jay Prince, the way I feel is it's all by design. They don't like you. They don't like me. They don't like nobody. They don't need anybody to do anything but need them. And we're about to see exactly what's going to happen. Let's get into this. I want you guys to watch this and tell me what you all think. Let me take my banner down for a second here. Hello, happy peppy people. How are you? It's good to see you. All right. So let's just get into this. It's breaking news, CBS breaking news. The judge say that Trump's administration must pay some SNAP benefits. SNAP, some. Let's get it.
2 federal judges have ruled the government must continue to fund SNAP. The federal food assistance program was set to be frozen tomorrow as the government shutdown stretches into November. But more than 24 Democratic-led states sued the Trump administration over suspending the benefits. CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson joins us now to discuss. So, Jessica, these judges say the federal government needs to use contingency funds to keep SNAP up and running. Can you break that down for us?
Absolutely. There was a question as to whether or not the federal government was mandated based on the terms of the statute to continue to provide these SNAP benefits, even though we are in a government shutdown and no new budget has been passed. We now have 2 different district court judges looking at the statutes and saying that they believe the fact that there are contingency funds there and looking at, again, the language of the statute indicates that the federal government must provide at least partial funding for these programs. We should remind everybody that these are temporary restraining orders, meaning this is not a final ruling on the merit. Both judges are looking at who's likely to succeed, where there will be an irreparable risk of harm if you do or don't grant this emergency relief. And what we're seeing is in one case, the judge is saying, federal government, I think you need to pay, let me know by Monday. In another case, a judge is saying something very similar, which is you need to pay, essentially tell me by Monday that you did, but both of them globally reaching the same conclusion.
And so what do we expect to happen in the next few days?
Appeals. And the question is whether or not these decisions will be put on pause while these cases are appealed. Obviously, we're talking about a situation where people may not be able to access these benefits. So when you're thinking about why do you typically grant emergency relief, one of the things you look at is who could be harmed, again, by granting or not granting the relief. I think that that will weigh heavily in favor of trying to get some money to people who, again, would otherwise be denied the benefits while these cases are appealed, but it's not a guarantee.
So if one of those 42 million Americans who would be impacted is watching this now, how would you say these rulings will affect whether or not they can get those benefits tomorrow or Sunday or Monday or the next day after that?
So I would say great question. These trial court rulings indicate that the 1 in 8 Americans who rely on these benefits should be able to get at least partial benefits. Having said that, we know these rulings will be appealed. So what we need to look at in the next hours is whether these temporary restraining orders, or in one case, almost granting the temporary restraining order, whether or not they're paused while the cases are appealed. That could mean people will not get benefits, at least for a temporary period of time.
Okay, Jessica Levinson, thank you.
Well, we are now 32 days.
So as you can see there, they are going to be able to do this, and hopefully, some people will get some relief. But most assuredly, what they're not saying is that it's just over and done with. That's not what they're saying. They're not saying, okay, we're finished, we're done, it's all over and done with, and you don't have anything else to worry about. And so that's okay. But to the point, to the folks that are in the chat that are saying, hey, it's disgusting how they're making us fight one side against the other. It's absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And isn't being done by design? Most assuredly, it is being done by design. It is. I mean, I feel like when we're looking at these kinds of arguments, they're sad, but we also know that there was a lot of fluff that they were trying to push through to other countries and other individuals and other people that should have never been there. So what it does is it removes us from looking at that and saying, hey, how did you ever even allow that? Why would you ever even consider putting that out there? Right? It makes us not focus on that and then start to devour each other. And that's where I really feel we need to pay attention. That's where I feel that we're not paying attention, because if we're looking at it, you would have to say what I was just saying earlier today, and that is that if we're looking at the money that people are getting right now, they're getting the same money that they were getting 25 years ago, 20 years ago. And it's very funny. Every time the whole conversation comes up about food stamps, people are acting like the folks who swipe their EBT card are somehow lazy or waiting on a handout. And the sad part about it is that it could be your neighbor next door. It could be you. You're not lazy. It could be you. Now, listen, we know that there are individuals over time that have taken advantage of the program. We know that. And we're not talking about that small sect of people when you compare it to the larger scheme of things. We are talking about the folks that every day get up and go to work, put their kids on the bus. Husband goes one way, the wife goes another way. The kids go on the bus and go to school. Okay, mom and dad are working hard as they can. All right. And they still qualify for food stamps. I'm not going to talk bad about those folks because they qualify. What I am going to ask the government is, why aren't you, since you're trying to pretend like you're everybody's friend, why aren't you making sure that things are competitive out there? Why aren't you bringing all those jobs from overseas back here? Why aren't you incentivizing some of those companies? And if you are, why aren't we giving them timelines to make sure that it's done lickety split, get your butt back over here and give some people some jobs? We just saw Amazon that was going to, they're downsizing. All right. We just looked at Walmart, just put out another amount of places that they're going to shut down, or people that they're going to shut down out of jobs. We are losing jobs by the droves. This isn't just something that is happening on a small scale. Jobs are going away. You have the median income about $88,000 right now of the average American, but that's the median if you take every place, right? But not everybody is making that $88,000 a year. This is, I really, you guys know how I am. I don't like us fighting with each other. I don't like, and I really honestly have to say, I have been so disgusted since the whole Mr. Kirk situation, looking at how they have got everybody the blacks against the whites. What is that about? What's really going on? We're there again. That man, it's been pretty bad. And again, I just think that it's pretty funny. We want to consider people who are on stamps as lazy. We want to talk about the folks that get it. When you got military folks that qualify for it, and we did a whole show on the military qualifying and utilizing the food stamps. You can't even give them a decent enough, stipend to be able to take care of their family where they qualify for stamps. That part. These are people that get up and go to work every single day. They're tired just like you and me. They're stretched to the max just like you and me. They're doing everything this country told them to do, and somehow they are being called the problem. Okay? That's the truth. That's what's up. The lie is that people are struggling. So here they're trying to cover up this, and that's the fact that everybody is struggling. But they turn that coin and they say, okay, everybody is struggling because they want to struggle. There's so much opportunity. How can there be all that opportunity when you consider that the previous administration allowed everybody and their mama to come over here, and now the people got to go in through ICE and snatch them out of different places? And unfortunately, some of them have the shade of my skin, so they got to drag some people that are citizens out at the same time because they don't know. That was another argument. When they go in these buildings in New York and Detroit and certain areas, you got folks that are in those areas that on purpose were put in those areas. So they got to drag everybody out. They got to drag everybody out. There's some in Memphis. Y'all, I've been gone for a minute. Partially on purpose. Okay. And then the other part was, my mom passed, my stepmom. You guys already know the lady that I put up the video about when we were talking about the chemical alley. She finally passed away. So I've been dealing with a lot of stuff. And as I've been dealing with a lot of stuff, I've been taking a lot of notes. And I've been doing a lot of digging. I remember back in 2003, after I suffered my divorce and moved from Los Angeles into Atlanta, I was making like $18 an hour then, right? That wasn't including commission. That wasn't including an override that I had. It didn't include any of that. I was a mother of 4. And when I packed up and went over there, I thought that, you know what, by going down south, coming back down south, it's going to be a lot easier to make do and not have to need anybody. And I didn't need stamps. That little bit of money plus my commission and my override and all of that sort of helped me make ends meet without needing anything. But I want you to take that same Felicia from then and put her with that same dollar amount now, because a lot of people may have only gotten about a buck raise since then, especially if they've been with the same company. I made that point earlier, but that individual here in 2025 with the exact same wages, what happens? Now that person qualifies for food stamps, not because she's lazy, not because he's lazy, but because the math has changed, but the paycheck didn't. The rent is higher. The electricity is higher. The insurance for your car is a whole lot higher. But the wages, nah, they flatline. They stand exactly the same. They're sitting where they were 20 years ago, give or take a few bucks. So when somebody tries to say, well, then they should just get a second job. He and his wife, they need to go get another job, or they need to make more money. Are they going to make it out of thin air like the federal government does, just going to print more money? Are they going to do that? No, they're not. Because then what's going to happen? Who's supposed to raise the kids? Now we're going to have a whole nother argument. Because you got Man and Tommy bopping somebody upside the head at the ATM because, well, nobody's watching them. So you got a whole different boat that's going to open up then and roll down the road. That's the deal. That's it right there. This country is headed to socialism, but it's not because of the money being given to the EBT people. No, it's not for the working class. It's not for the single mother. It's not for the warehouse worker. It's not for the home health aide. The socialism that this country is happy with giving is to large corporations. How many times have we bailed other big, gigantic corporations out? I'll hold. It is not socialism from the government standpoint when it's not bad for us to give to big corporations. It's socialism when we give them the food stamps, but it's not socialism when we bailing them out. When it's going to big contractors, defense contractors, when it's going overseas, when it's being subsidized, we're subsidizing billions of dollars for different industries. That's not called socialism. What that's called then is like an economic plan. It's the economic policy. But you go out there and you let a working person go and buy themselves some groceries and have to use an EBT card. Suddenly, all of a sudden, that $278 swipe a month is a problem. The whole country's going to collapse because of that. I don't know. I'm a little tired of the whole entire argument. I'm a little tired of the whole entire thing. And the fact that they could now come at old dark 30 and decide, hey, let's just go on ahead and tell the president to use the reserves that he had at the date that they did, shows me they could do that all the time. I do not think that we're holding the people that we send to Washington accountable, because for me to know that the Democrats or whomever knew that all of that fluff was inside of that, and they didn't check it, and they didn't take it out, and they didn't do what they needed to do. That's what we need to be angry about. We don't need to be angry at the people who were getting those stamps, because to be candid with you, that's the least of our worries right now. So while they tell you that they're for the working class, they're clearing the way for monopolies at the same time, because we just got through seeing that. That means there's going to be fewer choices and fewer jobs, higher prices all across the board. That same mother is going to pay more. That same father is going to pay more by design, on purpose. It's not your neighbor. That's not your problem. It's not your coworker. That is not your problem. The woman and the man that's in line with that EBT card, that's not your problem. Stay focused. Your problem is a system where wages are flat, prices are rising, and the competition is now being removed. And then you're blaming everybody for needing the system that is engineered. It's engineered to do what it's doing. Engineered to do exactly what it's doing. Taking care of people is not socialism. Taking care of people in this day and age is considered civilization. And we love to run around and tell everybody about being civil. We love to go in other countries and say, be civilized. So much so that we're giving majority of our money to others. That's what we need to be arguing about. I'm not saying that there's not a struggle and that there's not a fight, folks. What I'm saying is we need to put up our dukes to the right folks, because we're not. We're not requiring the right individuals to handle the business that needs to be handled. The smoke screens that they're pulling up in front of us are ones that'll cause us to have divisiveness with people. And we did that with the whole COVID thing in 2020. Everybody was divided, only for them to come back and say, hey, guess what? We were wrong. Everything that the people were saying, they were right. This study shows X, and that study shows Y and Z. We did that. I mean, how many times did my channel get shut down? I don't know how many of my mods are here, but how many times did they shut me down just for reading what the people who created the thing said? But we were all fighting. Families split up. People didn't get along with each other. People did not get along with one another, simply because we were all torn apart. Everybody was going all different directions. You had the mama not listening to the daughter and the son not listening to the father. And what happened? Most of those folks, as they said, in 5 years are not here right now. Just look around you. Just look around you. And what did they do? They shut everybody down. They shut everybody down. Yeah, you remember that, Rach. They shut everybody down. All of us got shut down. Yeah. And we weren't, we weren't talking about this because we didn't love people. We weren't telling this information because we didn't care. We were saying it because we were trying to be the ones out there telling everybody, hey, the road is out. Don't go that way. We're running to go tell the people. And while we're telling the people, they're shutting us down. But why would anybody want to shut you down if you're trying to save people? Anybody? That's the thought process that we need to use. The thought process that we need to utilize right now today is, how do we get angry at the person who's trying to warn the people? If they're trying to shut you up, there's got to be a reason. Being the watchman on the wall. Absolutely. Absolutely, Rachel. Absolutely. So that's the reason why I'm saying, hey, don't get upset. Don't nobody be mad at all this food stamp stuff, because just like they could do that, as of early this morning, we get up late last night or we go to bed and we see what they're talking about. And now all of a sudden, hey, guess what? Here's about 25 cents that's hidden up under the couch cushions. You better go get it. That might help somebody buy a can of beans. This is a mess. You've got the same apartment or house. Some people were lucky to stay in their places. Others have had to move. But let's use this as an example. You got the exact same house. And that exact same house has the exact same messed up pipes. And everything is the same, if not worse, more dilapidated. Okay? And that individual is now paying $2,000 for something they were paying $850 for 5 years ago. Make it make sense. But remember, because that rent is up, baby, you now qualify to get yourself some stamps. You qualify to go get yourself some stamps. Now that's the part that we need to ask. We need to understand, how is it that our government is allowed to do the things that they're doing, and why are there no checks and balances? That's the question. Why are there checks and balances that are in place, but nobody is adhering to them? And I don't want to hear about, oh, that's what Doge was doing. That's what this is doing. Palantir, anyone? Were they? I'll hold. I'll hold. Nobody? Yeah. A lot of the things that we're looking at are heading us into a direction that a lot of us have all been screaming about. A lot of us have been screaming about it. Heck, most of us have been hollering about this since the 90s or before. You know, for those of us who are in our 60s, which I know there are a lot of us here that are, yeah, we've all been hollering. We've all been screaming. We've all been shouting. And now we're at the tip of the iceberg. Because I don't know what happened. And I don't know who switched people out. But I know that we're not in Kansas anymore. We are not in Kansas anymore. And we see you with them big old bozo shoes sticking out behind that tree. We see you. So what I want to say to everybody right now is stop the arguing, stop the fighting, quit playing, into the games that they're putting out there for you to hate one another. Stop that. Stop it. Stop this black against white stuff, folks. What's going on? What's that about? You all know how I feel. I don't care who you marry. Don't tell me who I can marry. But if you are of a certain age, then you need to be marrying people of a certain age. You already know I'm not telling everybody to go get married to everybody, because everybody that know me know I don't agree with that either. If you've been following me for any length of time, you know I don't agree with that. If you can have babies, you need to be making more babies that look like you. That's just me. You all already know that. I'm not shocking anyone. But what I'm saying is, just because that's a mindset does not give you the authority and the right to hate. You can be proud to be white. You can be proud to be black. You can be proud to be Mexican. You can be proud to be, Italian. You can be proud to do that. You can be proud to marry people that look just like you, so that you guys can continue to recreate yourselves. And that's nothing. There's nothing wrong with that. But the problem steps in when we use those differences to create an environment of hatred. That's when the problem arises. When we start to say one is better than the other, because I personally wouldn't want anybody but a man that looks like me rolling around on the top of me. That's just me. I'm sorry, but I just got to be honest about that. I would only want my husband. That's it. He's a little darker than me. That works for me. So don't allow these differences to be used as tools to divide. Be who you are and be proud of who you are. Respect who you are. Respect your culture. Respect your ethnos. Respect it. But we're all a part of one race, and that's humans. So get with the program and stop with all this divisiveness. Stop it, I say. Now that I'm back, I guess I got to come back. But I was really trying to get better and trying to get well and trying to, I was really trying to mourn. I was really trying to do all of that. But then when I saw this whole thing here, I was like, you got to be joking me. So you guys really did have the money all along. And now all of a sudden, here we go. What is this you're saying? I'm safe, only 125 pounds. I wouldn't make a meal of. You see what I'm saying? And that's just the way that it is. It's the reality of life that we've got to learn to accept that we are different. And it's a big, gigantic tapestry. We're different. We are different. We're all one race, but we're different. but don't allow them to use that difference to divide. Like I just said earlier, while I was over visiting Jay Prince, you know what I used to be able to do when I was a little kid? We used to be able to go borrow eggs from Miss Wanda, and Miss Wanda would then send Adam or Matthew down to get some sugar, a cup of sugar. You know, don't use, their tactics to divide you from the people that you're going to need help with just in case of an emergency. I thought how beautiful it was when North Carolina all banded together and people were trying to get food up those hills to people who didn't have food. That was the most beautiful, glorious thing. But then you got to ask the question, why would a government say you can't do it and then prevent you from doing it? Anybody? I thought that was a beautiful thing. Conversely, why was it not so beautiful? Why did they not allow it? Why? I don't think we are ready for that argument yet. I really don't. And I think that's really where we need to be focused. How does everybody in the chat put down what Roy says? Prep what? Finish the rest of that. Prep, pray, and do what? Prep, pray, and stay out of the way. Prep, pray, and stay out of the way. Take care of yourself. Do what you need to do for yours and your family. Love your neighbor, but prep, pray, and baby, stay out the way. Stay out the way. There you go. Y'all know. Let me see what else we got here. And I hate having y'all know this is me. I have to look up with my. Keep looking up. Yep. Keep looking up. That's the important thing. What was that movie a couple of years ago talking about don't look up? Don't look up. But you guys, it's great to see you all again. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be here for now. Glad to be here for now, but so much stuff has happened where it just really makes you upset. It just makes you upset. You don't even want to get involved in it. I was really trying to pivot. I've been trying to pivot for a minute, but I think I am going to still pivot. So I hope you guys are hanging out with me for the pivot, because I'm going to pivot and start talking about other stuff. Black Spring is here. My last electric bill, let me put this up here so we can see it. My last electric bill, how big was it? Let's see. My last electric bill charges consisted of $23 in actual electricity costs. My total bill was $98. $75 of the total bill was about $7 in state tax, and the rest of the bill consisted of unrecognizable fees. Why am I not shocked? Why am I not shocked? Hey, Black Spring, how are you? Charlie Sigler, hey, it's good to see you. It's good to see you all. It's just crazy, isn't it? Seek ye first the kingdom indeed, and all else will come. Hallelujah. Yeah, it is a trip how those bills are the way that they are. That's the trip. Yeah, that's the trip. All of our bills here in the area that we stay in, they are all together. So in other words, your lights, your gas, the water, trash, sewage, they are all one bill. And that can be a good thing. It can be a bad thing for some, but it's also a good thing. But I do see exactly what you're talking about, because when I look at the bill itself, the electricity may only be like, $50. The bill itself, this last one was like $198. Believe it or not, that's the lowest bill that I've had in a few years since, like the middle of 22. That is the lowest one, and it combines all of that. But you're running around turning off lights, and only, you flush, you use one bathroom, not the two, especially if, you got your grandkids over there. Everybody come in one bathroom. Don't be over here running this water. So you pretty much got to, watch your pennies. You really do. But I just want us to all realize, let's see, they're allowing it to happen because eventually, hold on, here we go. I wanted to see this. This just may be where I'm talking about. Is that Rotsiv Vandal? He says, they're allowing it to happen because eventually they'll get everyone on stamps. Then it'll tie into digital dollar. I just love you. I love my people. I just love everybody that's subscribed to this channel. I really do. I love you guys because I love the way that you think. And I love the fact that you all get it. Don't they get it, Black Spring? They get it. They really do. You guys get it. That is it. That's it in and of itself, that they're looking for that. That's what they're looking for right there, right there. Everything has been a test in the past. It's all been a test. It's all been a test. Oh, I just love you so much, Lowrider. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much for the $50 love offering. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Lowrider, how are you doing? It's good to see you. I sure appreciate you. I really do. You know what? It is. There you go. And that's what we were talking about as well. The basic income. Rachel Van Ziel says basic income. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. It's absolutely, that's where they're headed. The universal basic income is what they are trying to do. They want everybody all the same. They want everybody all the same. You see what I mean? And that's the problem. You know, I may have mentioned this to you guys just recently, or maybe in the past, that when I was looking for new bedding, you know how you sort of want to have all of your bedding match the kitchen, the bathroom. So your bathroom that leads the bedroom that has the bathroom in it, you want it all to sort of coincide together. So you may change one year. It may be burgundy, it might be pink, it may be whatever. But did you notice that after a certain point of time, when you would go into the department store, everything sort of got drab, especially around the time right after COVID ended, as far as the timeline, right? Everything sort of got drab. Everything was like gray, a steel drab blue, beige. You weren't able to get the beautiful bright colors that you used to get. And I remember making a comment of that. I said, gee, it looks like they want everybody to, be like, oh, Kanye West, that choir that he had, they all wore the exact same stuff, that ugly, drab prison look. Isn't that, there has to be something psychological to that, but they wanted everybody to be the same. Everybody was the same in the book 1984. Everybody was absolutely the same. Everybody said the same thing. They were able to edit the news. They were able to edit all stories from history. They were able to change who the players were, who the protagonist was. They were able to change everything. They were able to change it. And that's exactly what we're looking at today. Dre, it says, they want digital slaves. You see? Because it is exactly that. Subtle social engineering and programming. It absolutely is. You can look for the bright colors if you want. Yeah, poor Kanye, we need to pray for him. He's in dire spiritual trouble. Yeah, he is. I have to agree with you on that one. Rachel Van Ziel says, I look and look for bright colors. Drab is not my style. I had to go online. But remember when you could walk into your favorite department store and you could get what you needed? But that's no longer, because it is for control. Something as small as that, you would not think would be even a deal, right? You wouldn't even think that it would be a reason. But it is. Just like they have all these nice cars, these brand new little cars, and they're all this drab, muted, like muddy color. It's like a muddy burgundy avocado color, all these muddy colors. Have you noticed that? There's new cars and they don't have any fleck, any metal in them. They're just like drab avocado, like just drab beige, a drab blue. They're amazing. It's done on purpose. It's done on purpose. Let's see here what we have. Colors evoke emotion. Bright colors, happy, cheerful, upbeat. Drab colors, depressed, sadness. Thank you. Thank you. That is the point right there. That is it right there. That's what I'm trying to say. What you have on the screen is what I'm trying to say. That's exactly it. That's exactly it. You used to be able to do that at various stores, but they're closing so many of these various stores that offered a variety. And here we go back to State Street, Vanguard, and BlackRock. There was about, let's see, 2 years ago, I had a client, and the client was in the security, not securities, but a security firm. And they needed people that can put up doors, security doors, surveillance, cameras, and all that other stuff. And so I was helping them source out companies. Do you know that all the roofing companies went under one big company? All of a sudden, I was calling all these roofing companies. They still had the same name, but they were all purchased by the exact same heading. So even though you thought you were getting a competitive price, you weren't. And why roofing companies in the South? Maybe because we have a lot of tornadoes and stuff like that. Yeah. So as we said, prep, pray, stay out of the way. We need the light. Yes, we do. Even something as simple as food is controlled. Limited choices. Every store carries the same exact food. I know. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Drea, right here in Alabama. Every company that I would call, they went from having people pick up the phone to this routing, a number that routed you to somebody else, like, recording. But the recording was the exact same recording as the company that I had just called. Go figure. Yeah. All roofing companies under one. Like food companies do. Yes. Yellow, orange, purple, pink. I love colors. I'm a butterfly. Yes. Same parent company. Yes, that's exactly what I mean, Burgess. Burgess Official. That's what I'm talking about. But they hid it. You look around in your area. Do you notice that if you even call a company to complain about some food or something like that, that when you call to complain, it's going to a central number? Look at that. They started it a few years ago, and I think we even talked about it when we talked about what is that company that's got the Squeak Geek Squad, the Geek Squad. Dr. Lockhart, I'm so glad to hear your voice, and thank you for sharing your light and being a vessel. I love you, sis. I've been peeping in on you too. I don't know whether you've seen it, but I've been peeking in. I've been watching, and I think I shared you out one morning. I haven't been up. My sleep has been messed up recently, but I would love to have you on one day so we can talk soon. I would love that. I would just love it. It would mean the world to me. So give me a call later today and tell me when you can hang out. I would love to hang out. I really would. Thank you so much for blessing me with that love offering. Mwah. I appreciate you. Daryl, you. I call the automation madness the Alexa, the great Alexifying. Best Buy, that's it. Best Buy did that. And now when you call locally, you're not going to reach anybody locally. You're going to reach somebody overseas. They send you through a big maze. And then after you go through this gigantic maze, you get nothing. You just want to know, hey, do you guys got XYZ down there right now? I need a new HDMI cord. You got one I can come and pick up? You do? This is what I need. And you don't get the help that you need or deserve. They don't care. They just put everything under one. They don't want you to have any human connection. Here in Italy, we are heading for digital ID very fast. Just recently, every immigrant that wants to have any benefits must be digitized. Great opportunity not to waste. Our fault, totally. That is a show in and of itself right there. Best Buy Geek Squad. Yes, that's it. I hope you do. You make sure you do. Black Spring. Daryl, did you see Ohio Freedom Channel last night? Sketchy stuff with Robin Bullock. Oh, let's go see it. Hey, Daryl Calhoun, what's going on, baby? What's going on, big baby? Okay. And you get, what is that? Gopal Krishna? Oh, yes. Hello, my name is Peggy. How can I help you? Yeah, that's it. I'm Peggy. Are you sure you're Peggy? Yes, I'm Peggy. All right, Peggy. That's it. What is your name, Peggy? Oh my goodness. I am Peggy. I'm here to help you. Now, may I please tell you that right now I want you to know that your Medicare Part A and B and C we can give you for a very discount price. You're like, what are you talking about? We can give you part discount price. If you want to get part A, part B, part C, part D, we have a very good discount for you. We just want to make sure that you are getting all of your benefits. Can we please go over some things? May I please have your first and last name and then give me your social security number? And then I want you to also to send me a picture of your birth certificate and your bank account and all of these things, and I'll make sure that we give you the discount. It's good to see you again too, baby. That's exactly what they do to you. You can't answer your phone no more without hearing the background. And then from the background, what else do you get? You get the background making all the noise. Okay, yes. We need to know your mother's maiden name only to give you the discount. That's all. We need to give you the discount. So we need the mother's maiden name. We need it. We need it. That's all we want you to do. Hurry up, please. Okay, that's what they want you to do. You answer your phone. Your phone rings more with strangers than anybody. You think you actually got somebody that loves you calling you, and it ain't nobody that you know. It's a number that matches your phone number's prefix. You decide, well, what the heck? Maybe I'll answer. It could be somebody important. Or you could be so lonely that you feel like you better answer it because, hey, nobody else is calling. But either way it goes, when you answer that phone, it's going to be a person that you don't know. A person that you don't know. It's going to be somebody that's going to hold the phone long enough to pull your information if you're on a digital phone. It's going to be somebody. And if you guys remember how they got all of us, how did they get all of us a couple of years back? I'll tell you how they got us. They told us a few years ago, we're going to stop all of these people in America from calling you all hours of the night. You're getting all these telemarketer calls and we're going to stop it. It's not going to happen anymore. Not on our watch. No, it's not. So everybody said, okay, cool. We're happy. They voted it in. They got it. Take it. Up yours, telemarketers. And then all of a sudden, baby, they turned the table and sold everything overseas because there ain't no way you going to tell me that a country this size is supposed to have all of the technology that we have and all the security that we have cannot stop this from happening. I guarantee you that some of these companies are owned by somebody else, if nothing else, but to drive us bats. All hours of the day and night. All hours. Hello, this is Peggy. Hi, my name is San. Hey, I'm sorry. Can I speak to Betty? You're like, no, there's no Betty here. Well, can I speak to you then? Let me just tell you about a wonderful deal that we have. No, I don't want anything. Please don't call this number in again. Then all of a sudden they want to cuss you out. I don't know whether any of y'all been cussed out yet, but I have been cussed out. I told them, please stop calling. Well, you know what? F you. F you. I'm like, okay. And then they put their cuss words together in the most unique ways. Not like we do in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Because we put it all together so eloquently. They don't. They cuss us out and put stuff backwards. And you want to laugh because it's funny. But you know, if you stay there any longer, they're going to zap your information and suck through your line. That's what they're going to do. So you just basically stop answering. And then you end up having this gigantic high bill for a phone that you can't really even use. Okay, you haven't been cussed out yet? Girl, I got cussed out. I said, please stop calling this number. I said, please. I did. I told him, Drea, I said, stop calling this number. Please take us out of your database. You want to be taken out of the database, but why? Because I don't know you and I don't want to talk to you anymore. They don't care. They're calling back. As soon as you hang up, that actually makes them a little angrier. So what you got to do on an Android, I don't know about the iPhones because I dare not purchase one of them only to be harassed by a bevy of strangers. But on the Android, What I do now is, as soon as the call comes in, if I make a mistake and answer it, I just hit that button that has the block them. I just block them. I don't want to talk to them. I just block them. That's it. Yeah, they cuss us out badly. I mean, badly, girl. I got cussed out so badly, it was funny. Oh my God. There was a lady that told me F me and something else, but the way she put the cuss words was just too much. I said, Lord have mercy. Lord, and they be thinking, and they are on it. I mean, they think that they are right when they cussing you. Yeah. Yeah, we are. We are. That is it right there. That is it. What's on the screen? We are. And it's being allowed. You can't tell me that it's not allowed. It's allowed. They're allowing it. You see? They're allowing it. Call screening is fantastic. You know what, Michael? It is. But here my goofy self is, I'm still answering in hopes that it's a conversation that I really do want to have. I know the iPhone allows that to happen. The iPhone, because I've been calling people and they'll have that thing where you're leaving your voice and they'll just answer it. They will answer it. Hi, what's going on? And I'm like, how did you do that? That was amazing. I remind myself of a person who's never seen any blue toilet water, like the dark blue. And whatever happened to pink toilet paper? Remember we had that when we did it a few years ago where we were talking about where stuff was? Huh? You remember that? You remember that? Where these things went? Remember, we used to have pink toilet paper, green toilet paper, light green. We had the pastels, and then it went just to white. Maybe that's where all of this started. When they abolished the pink toilet paper and just made us use the white. Maybe that's it. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? You don't answer any phone that you don't recognize. See what I'm saying? We are, yes. Call it the National Call Registry. And you know what? I have tried to do that and it doesn't matter. Rose color. You remember that? Where it could match your restroom. It would match your bathroom. The colors would match your bathroom. But not anymore. Not anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Tidy bold man in a rowboat. Yes. It was beautiful. It was a lovely thing. It was a wonderful thing. It really, honestly, it was a wonderful thing. I just loved it. I loved it all the way. I loved it. I loved having that, the different colors, and you took it for granted too. I remember my mom telling me that when you were pregnant, make sure that in your latter months that you only used white tissue. And there was a reason for that. Women in the chat will know what that was, but that's not even a thing now. It's not even a thing now. No, it's not. Not even a thing, because they took us and took away all the beautiful shades. And now all we have is what's left. What is this? Where is Roy and peanut butter? It is that day today. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I need to call Roy. So remember, you guys, tonight at midnight, or tonight at when we go to bed tonight, for those of us who do sleep, because I don't, what will happen at 2 a.m. is we go back. And remember, they promised in Alabama, for example, that we weren't going to do this whole time changing thing again. And then they had this big brouhaha conversation, legislation and all, and they ain't did it. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. They're too close to their governor, the Gorgonites, the Gregorian calendar. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Hey, Jack, baby. Hey, baby. Oh, the Gorgonites. That's what it's all about. Well, you know what? The funny thing is, some of the chemicals They whiten the paper with stay on the paper. Oh boy, a mess. Falling Back to the Future. It's one of my favorite TV movies too. Jack Walsh, you tell him, Fifi. Peanut Butter deep reference. Roy did a spot some time ago. The absurdity of it all. I was going to call him and see if what he's up to. We never go back, only forward towards our King Jesus. Black Springs laughing. If you call Roy, please give him our love. I think I will call him. Let me text him first and see what he's up to. Let's see. Whoever you are. Hello. All right. I'm just getting one of those. Hello. Let's see if he's available. All right, you guys. Let's see. How can I be helping you? How can I be helping you? On the Amtrak, that was. All right, y'all. We hung out for an hour today. Can you believe that we hung out for an hour? Wow. I really didn't even know that I was even going to be up today, but I knew that there was so many things that's going on that I had to tell you guys about them. And so I'm very happy to see everybody. I'm happy to see that everybody is well. I will come back. Let's see. This is Saturday. Let's hang out tomorrow. Let's hang out. Maybe I'll get some good sleep tonight and I'll be able to hang out with y'all. That'll be good. That'll be really good. All right, y'all. Let's see. Say hello to Mrs. Doubtfire.
Hello, dear. Did you not tip them? Perhaps it was a member of the cooking staff. Did you not tip them? It was a run-by fruiting.
Oh, it was a run by fruiting. It was an apple buy. They drove by and threw a piece of fruit at the head. All right, y'all. I love each and every one of you guys. Remember what I always say, to make sure that you take care of yourself, because if you do not take care of yourself, nobody else is going to do it. Nobody. They're going to tell you that they're going to do it, but I promise you, they're not. They're not going to do it. They're going to tell you, yeah, you take care of me and I got you, boo. I got you. They don't have you. They're fibbing. Here, you guys, go get you some sauce.
Hey everyone, it's me, Felicia, of the Lockhart Perspective and Headlines with a Voice. I want to tell you a little secret. This is what I used to do, because I don't do it anymore. I would go to the store, buy the barbecue sauce, pour it inside of a bowl, put a whole bunch of different spices, a dash of brown sugar, a dash of maple, and a dash of mustard, stir it all around, and everybody would be like, oh my gosh, this is the best. But I was exhausted after all of that, and a lot of times I couldn't remember how many dashes of what I put in it. But I don't have to do that anymore, because now I just go to Judge Joe Brown's website and I order his 3-pack of bottled barbecue sauce. It is by far the best, and I do mean the best barbecue sauce I've ever eaten. And when you go to his website and you order his 3-pack, you'll see exactly what I mean. Head on over to jjbbbbq.com and order Judge Joe Brown's barbecue sauce. You'll be glad you did, and you're going to tell me about it. I know you will. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping